Okay, I got shit to do, so I'm going to try and make this short. Follow up to my last video is, you don't have an immune system? What do we have then? What we have is a detox system. So, in order to understand this, I have 3 questions. Question number 1, where do we get alcohol? I'll give you a second to think about it. Where does alcohol come from? I've asked a lot of smart people, and only the smartest people will say, well, it's distilled. Yeah, but distilled from what? Basically, a specific species of bacteria love to eat sugar. And when you eat something, you have to shit. So you have a waste product. And this specific species of bacteria, their waste product produces a molecule that we call alcohol. So you have billions and billions of bacteria eating all this sugar, and they shit and they fart, and then we distill off this molecule that we call alcohol. That's where alcohol comes from. It's bacteria shit. Now, question number 2, where do we get vinegar? Basically the same fucking place. Go and pee in a cup and let it sit at room temperature for about a day or 2, and you can smell the vinegar. In fact, you can also smell ammonia, which is question number 3. Where do we get ammonia? You know that harsh cleaning chemical that we use? Where do we get ammonia? It's bacteria shit. Bacteria metabolize the food that they eat, and then when they poop, they produce molecules and chemicals that we call vinegar and ammonia and things like that. Now, these things are toxic, okay? Alcohol is toxic. Vinegar in too much a quantity, I know it flavors our food lovely, but too much vinegar, too much ammonia, it's toxic. You have too much of that shit, it's toxic. So our bodies are flooded, we're full of bacteria. And when the body, which is the terrain, becomes out of balance, when the pH is wrong or something's out of balance, then certain bacteria find a lovely home. It's like springtime to them, and they bloom and they go crazy and they go ape shit, and they reproduce lots and lots of bacteria. And what their waste product produces is stuff that our human bodies consider toxic. So our bodies have to eliminate that toxic stuff. That's terrain theory. So there are all kinds of species, and there's all kinds of molecules and all kinds of things, not just alcohol, vinegar, and ammonia, but all kinds of other things that certain species of bacteria produce as a waste product, and that waste product is toxic to the body, to the terrain. And when our pH is out of whack, when our bodies are out of balance, when you don't have enough nutrients and your cells aren't functioning properly and they're not doing their job, you don't get enough selenium, enough magnesium, enough all the other phytonutrients. When your body is not healthy and it doesn't have enough nutrients, which we call nutrient deficiency, then the terrain is out of balance and the bacteria find a healthy, happy home. Unhealthy bacteria, by the way, unhealthy. Because like I said, there's staph, there's strep, there's TB. It's alive. It's in you now. And those bacteria, their waste product are toxic. Their waste product, when they poop, they produce chemicals that are toxic to the body. That's terrain theory. Your body is the terrain. And if your cells can't function properly, then those bacteria find a happy home and they explode, what's called a bacteria explosion, and they reproduce, and you have shitloads of these bacteria that are producing a waste product. Then that waste product is toxic, like ammonia, or maybe too much alcohol or vinegar or other chemicals that are toxic to the body. That's terrain theory. Do you get it now? There are basically 2 things that cause disease or dis-ease. Two things cause dis-ease. Two. One is deficiency. You are lacking some vital nutrient that your cells need to function properly. The other thing is toxicity. You're exposed, or you're either exposed externally to some toxin, like you sprayed too much fucking Febreze air freshener, or you came too close to Chernobyl, or some sort of external toxicity, or your terrain, your body is out of balance, your pH is out of balance, and bacteria, bad bacteria, are thriving, and their waste product is producing a chemical toxin that your body has to deal with, and that causes dis-ease, disease. So for the last time, two things cause disease: internal and external toxicity. You could be exposed to 5G, you could be exposed to radiation from Chernobyl, you could be exposed to chemicals in the air from your, the Febreze air fresheners and the chemical cleaners that you use and the hair products and whatever you use, too much toxicity. Or it could be internal toxicity. If your body is out of balance and certain bacteria find a happy home, then their waste product produces chemicals that your body finds toxic and your body has to deal with. So toxicity. So deficiency, so you're lacking a mineral, a nutrient, or a vitamin, or toxicity. You're exposed internally or externally from something that is too toxic, and the body has got to get rid of that shit one way or the other. It could be a skin rash, could be a cough, could be diarrhea. That's disease. Dis-ease.